Coverage of the Suzuki International Series is brought to you by Suzuki. The third and final round of the Suzuki International Series would once again be played out in front of a huge crowd of sun-baked bike fans around the infamous cemetery circuit at New Zealand's famous river city, Whanganui. At a circuit where the spectators can reach out and touch the riders, it was fitting that those same riders would salute their fans with a helmetless parade. Riders from all four corners of the globe and the best that New Zealand had to offer would test themselves around this 1.6 kilometre circuit, dotted with power poles, white lines, manhole covers and a railway track, as they had done for over 65 years. This is the cemetery circuit. The series started under dark clouds and the threat of rain at Taupo's round one. The big crowd was on hand both days, but they would be disappointed when racing was called on day two. Much better weather and another good crowd greeted competitors at the Manfield Auto Course Circuit Chris Amon for round two, where in the always competitive F2 class, Richie Dibbon's luck continued to be bad.
Yeah, I mean, just a bit of a rough start, especially at Taupo. Just had a bit of a freak crash, and then yesterday had a bit of an off at speed, and then today's been good. So yeah, just need to get a bit of bad luck out of the way, and yeah, look forward to Boxing Day and hopefully have a good day there and without any hiccup.
Heading into Whanganui's final round, just 6 points separated Palmerston North Ashton Hughes from series leader Rogan Chandler.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty lucky. Our riding's come together and the bike's a lot better this year, so everyone's putting in the work and luckily we're sort of reaping the rewards a little bit.
Another to experience the wrong luck was Auckland's Toby Summers on the Carl Cox Kawasaki.
Yeah, I've had a bit of bad luck the first two rounds. Now we're at Cemetery Circuit, which is a track I enjoy a lot. We just had qualifying. I managed to get it on pole, which I'm pretty happy about, but that's just one lap. We got a few races to go, and hopefully we can see what happens.
Stepping down to the F2 600cc machines, Hawke's Bay's Adam Chambers.
Excited to be back on a 600 around here. We gave the Superbike a nudge for a couple of years, but we got offered the 600 ride through Barnes Jenkins, which is really nice of it. So excited to be back on a 600, and hopefully we might be nearer the front than we have been the last couple of weeks.
Making her street circuit debut this year, current New Zealand 600 Supersport champion Avalon Biddle.
Running the #1 plate this year, so I feel a bit of pressure, to be honest, and we started the season not quite up to speed, so we're definitely getting there now, and yeah, obviously can't wait for the New Zealand Championship to kick off in January.
No doubt spurred on by all her male competition, Biddle decided after watching the event for years it was time to try the streets.
It's going smoother than I thought. The track's not too bad, it's pretty rough, but it's still enjoyable. I'm having a lot of fun, and yeah, not doing too badly.
A third row start after the all-important qualifying for New Zealand's First Lady of Motorcycling. With Toby Summers on pole and class points leader Rogan Chandler starting on row 2, the stage was set. Well, Ipony Oils bring us Formula 2 here at Whanganui, the third and final round of the Suzuki International Series. On pole position, number 22, right to the left as you look at the pictures. That is Toby Summers. Alongside him is the points series leader, and that is Rogan Chandler from Upper Hutt. Away they go. Good start from the 15, but an even better one from the 22 down on the inside as they head down into the Gilmore Homes turn number 1. And it is Richie Dibbon that's gone out into the front, the Whanganui lad, on the Suzuki GSX-R 600. Taking the pictures there from the 22 of Toby Summers. Adam Chambers moves through into second place as they cross the Suzuki crossing for the first time. Dibbon doing double duty today. You'll see him out in Supermoto as well. Had wretched luck in the first 2 rounds of the Suzuki International Series. Involved in a couple of crashes, one in Taupo and then another major accident at Manfield. That's why he's a little ways further down the points order than he'd want to be. Everyone's safely on 2 wheels. Adam Chambers gets a little bit closer and gets a bit of a wiggle on as they head up over the Bridgestone Bridge for the first time. It is Dibbon, it is Chambers, it is Summers. They've already started to clear out a little bit of a lead. They're going to be Ashton Hughes chasing them on bike number 4. As into turn 1 they come once again. and then down the short chute into the Mars Pet Care turn. We're chasing the race leader, Richie Dibbin, on the Suzuki. In second place, it is the 64, Adam Chambers. Very quick round here a few seasons ago now on a Honda 600 for Jamie Raychek, and had a great battle with the 22 of Toby Summers, who sits just distantly third now. Just look at the speed as they head down into the trade zone, Robert Holden turn. Dibbin crashes it down onto the curb and then works his way down the trade zone straight into the curves and down towards the hooker curves now and up toward the Bridgestone Bridge. It is the 115, Richie Dibbin. Tells us that he wants to concentrate on the 600. As I said, you'll see him out in the Supermotos as well, but it's the 600s he's been riding in Australia in our off-season, and it's the 600s he wants to make his mark, because he's already done that on the Supermoto machine. This is a battle further down through the field. You're watching Aston Hughes comes into the final round of the Suzuki International Series in third place. Make it second place, being chased by the points leader. This is Rogan Chandler. Up into the Suzuki crossing they go once again. Down the inside he drifts and takes the spot away. Chandler goes through as well. So these two have got together right throughout the International Series thus far, both at Taupo and also Manfield. You ride with Chandler as they head down into the Robert Holden turn, named after the late great Robert Holden, who sadly lost his life in the Isle of Man in a crash back in 1996. He's the most winningest rider ever around the cemetery circuit here at Whanganui. We go back to the front of the field. 22 getting a little bit closer. This is Toby Summers from Auckland on the R&R Power Sports, Carl Cox Motorsport, Mad Love Media Kawasaki ZX6, sitting in third place at the moment. Another Kawasaki in second. That's the Barnes Jenkins number 64 of Adam Chambers. Dives up the inside of the 119. And Chambers trying to make the pass stick, and he does. I thought Dibbin was going to give him a bit of a problem there as they moved out, as they went through the Suzuki crossing and up down toward the Robert Holden turn. The Versatile Builders straight, they both hug the curb through Robert Holden, but a leader change now. It is Hawke's Bay's Adam Chambers in the front. Number 119, Richie Dibbin back in second place, and somehow Toby Summers has drifted off that pace as well. Over the Bridgestone Bridge they come. It is Chambers. Flirted with the Superbikes a couple of seasons ago. Great to see him back on the 600 though. Half distance in this first Formula 2 race, brought to you by Oponi Oils. On board here with the man in third place, Toby Summers. Down the visitwanganui.com straight. Now out onto Taupo Key they come once again. Once again the 64 just gets a little bit untidy under brakes. That's how hard these guys are pushing. There is Richie Dibbin. Now a Suzuki shop owner here in Whanganui. As I said, made his mark in Supermoto, but has switched his allegiances a little bit to the 600 machine. Still going to ride the RMZ 450 in the Supermoto a little bit later on today at Whanganui. At the moment, he's in second place. Once again, closing up the gap in third. Across the top of the Bridgestone Bridge, they come once again, and it's the 22 of Toby Summers, getting a little bit closer now to Dibbin. Well, these two have battled long and hard in Supermoto competition for years and years and years. And then Toby decided to cash his lot in road racing, and he's been road racing ever since. Richie Dibbin, a relative newcomer to the Tar Babies, as they work across the Suzuki crossing once again. Heading up Hedge Road, 64, Chambers leads at Dibbin in second. Once again, Summers closes the gap. He's faster through the curves and into the Versatile Home straight is the Auckland Plumber. And you can see that for yourselves as we ride on board here with Toby Summers. Through Robert Holden they go once again. There is nothing in this, and Summers has got even closer to Richie Dibbin. And by coincidence, Dibbin's swallowed up the gap between himself and the race leader, and that's number 64, and that is Adam Chambers. You ride with Summers down into turn one, the Gilmore Homes turn one, the 90-degree corner. There is Rogan Chandler, and behind Chandler it would be Aston Hughes. So this is the next battle group on the order as they come through. There is Tarbin Walker. We go back to the front of the field, and it's still Adam Chambers out of the Hawke's Bay. Spent a lot of time in Australia, now living back at home. A young father these days. Heading through the Suzuki curves, down the Versatile Builders straight once again. Dibbin getting a little bit closer, just leaves the braking a fraction later through Robert Holden. But there's nothing he can do. He's not denting the armour of Adam Chambers at the moment. And once again, Toby Summers just seems to drift off the pace a little bit as they go through the trade zone corner and through the hooker transport curves. Summers down the inside, or the outside as we look at it, looking to put a move on Dibben. Can't get it done. You're back on board here with the Carl Cox Motorsport, Mad Love Media, Kawasaki of Toby Summers. R&R Power Sports helping him out as well. Out on the Taupo Key they come once again. This is the Sharp Airs long haul straight this year. Across the railway line they go, up into the S's. Still nothing in this. You can throw a large blanket over the three of them. This has been scintillating racing. We've seen it right throughout the season in the Suzuki International Series. Dibben goes for the inside pass on the man from Hawke's Bay and gets it done. Chambers comes back at him. We ride with Chambers. Into Robert Holden they go. Out down the short chute they come through now. And Summers is back in the mix as well. Chambers goes back to the front. Summers jumps Dibben and moves into second place. So the laps are starting to wind down here. Final lap, white flag out, and Toby Summers looking to pounce on Adam Chambers. Can he get it done here through turn one? Dives to the inside. Will we have a new race leader as they head down out onto Taupo Key? The Sharp Airs long haul straight. Lap rider in the way there, that's David Neal. He'll just hold his line and let the fast boys go through. And we have got a new leader. It's the Auckland plumber, Toby Summers. Third in points going into this one. Oh, and the red flag's come out. Oh, that's the last thing that Toby Summers wanted to see. And you just got a glimpse of a rider down up against the air fence. So the race has been stopped now with on the last lap, so I'm pretty sure they'll declare it. Oh, and that is Tarvin Walker. We've mentioned him before. Straight out of Gixxer Cup and into the 600s. So the red flag comes out, and that means the race will finish under red. And that means we'll go back to the last fully recorded lap to decide the result. That's desperate bad luck for Toby Summers, but in contrast, very good luck for Adam Chambers. So the judges called it that way as well. Chambers gets the win from Toby Summers in second place, to Kawasaki 1 and 2. Then it was the Suzuki of Richard Dibben, and then the Yamaha of Rogan Chandler.
The red flag's never ideal. We still had a lap to go. I felt like we had enough pace, I think, to throw another move in there. So, yeah, I don't know. The red flag, I don't think, decided it. It was maybe a bit unlucky for Toby, but that's racing. We led a lot of laps, so we'll take the win for sure.
Well, just a taste of what's to come here at the Cemetery Circuit. Come back after the break for F1 and F2 sidecars. The sidecars always provide plenty of action, and doing just that at Manfield's round 2 with Dan Jenkins, the swinger, and Dennis Charlotte. With the biggest field of international riders in the F1 and F2 chairs this season, there was no surprise that the standouts in round 1 at Taupo were Estelle LeBlond and Frank Clays.
Yes, we just discovered the track, and it's a beautiful track, very interesting to walk, technical and fast part, and that's good, yes.
It looked very smooth out there in that last one.
Yeah, it's very nice curves from longer to short, and yeah, it looks like a little bit more on road racing from long to short, and it's very fast, yeah, just what we like.
The French-Belgian pairing looked fast on their 600cc F2 rig, easily stretching away from their fellow F2 competitors.
But yeah, I was thinking also that they are very fast, but I not have always the time to looking behind me. Yeah, I don't really know what they doing or something. I really concentrate myself, and also I think Estelle also on what we see on the front of us.
Sadly, their luck ran out at round 2. Engine problems for their race motor and spare prevented them from shining at Circuit Chris Amon. After a red flag, race 1 of the sidecars had to be restarted, getting away best of all number 17 of Spike Taylor and Graham Wilkinson from Masterton. Chasing them, Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan on the 73, and Estelle LeBlond and Frank Clays on letter L. The Europeans all aggression, taking second spot from Smith and Bryan, heading on to Taupo Key on lap 1. Still aggressive as they came into the Robert Holden turn, clipping the inside curve, costing them momentum, and they slipped from challenging for the lead to third, and then compounded things by running wide at the trade zone corner. Whatever could go wrong did for the Europeans. For Blond and Clays, the rest of the race would be in catch-up mode. Checkered flag came out, it was the Barry and Tracy show, the past champions taking the win on their F2 machine. So this is race number 2 for the sidecars. Down on pole position, it is the letter L, and that is Estelle LeBlond and Frank Clays. Inside of them, number 17, that's Spike Taylor, past New Zealand champion. And on the inside, the 73 of Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan. Good start too from the 111 of Pete the Pirate Goodwin and Kendall Dunlop. In fact, they may slot into 3rd place as they head down into Taupo Key for the first of 6 times. So it is the L, Estelle LeBlond and Frank Clays. Plenty of experience in this European combination. Estelle from France, Frank from Belgium. Both of them raced extensively in the Isle of Man. 15 starts, 9 finishes for Estelle. Probably France's preeminent female sidecar rider. They're on F2 machines, 600cc machines, but still they bark through the corners, as you got good evidence of that through the trade zone corner. You ride here looking into the helmet of Frank Clays, the vastly experienced Frank Clays. It is Estelle LeBlond doing the driving. 2nd place, it would be the 73 of Tracy Bryan, swinging for Barry Smith, another combination that are past New Zealand champions, and these two starting to break away a little bit from the rig in 3rd place. And that would still be the 17, I think, of Spike Taylor and Graham Wilkinson. That's a brand new Windle for Taylor and Wilkinson. They debuted that at the Southern Classic meeting in Timaru just a few weeks ago. 111, Pete the Pirate Goodwin and Kendall Dunlop now through in 3rd place by the look of it. We're back on board here with the Europeans, and it is Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan getting a little bit closer this time round. Well, they were all aggression in the first race of the collegiate sidecars, and it cost them big time. They overshot the trade zone corner and had to play catch up from then on. They're in the front of this one though, and as we saw at Taupo in round 1, this rig is so fast and this combination is so smooth. Already you see them starting to pull away. There is Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan. 111, Pete Goodwin and Kendall Dunlop. Then it's Spike Taylor and Wilkinson. And then it would be the 83. You're riding on board here with Dennis Charlotte and Dan Jenkins. Dennis Charlotte's won just about every New Zealand title on 2 wheels. So a season ago, he decided he would try his hand at sidecar racing. Well, it's been a sometime pretty painful learning experience, but he's got the better of it now. The Mega Motorcycle Centre, LCR, Dennis Charlotte and Dan Jenkins heading under the Emmets Bridge up towards Robert Holden. They go, currently sitting in 4th place. Dennis says, as you would expect, it's a vastly different animal from all the 2-wheeled machines he's ridden. He's a past 125 champion, Grand Prix champion. He's a past 600 sports production champion. He's a past Superbike champion. He's won the F3s. He's won Pro Twins. He's won just about every title going in New Zealand. Estelle LeBlond and Frank Clays still in command of this one. And as we look behind to see the 73 just getting a little bit closer. Not a good start for Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan at round 1. They had contact on the long front straight at Taupo and resulted in quite a high-speed crash. And I know that Tracy was having a little bit of difficulty walking after that crash and then sitting down, even at round 2 at Manfield. They're contending in the F2 category. That's the 600cc machines. But the 111, currently on your screens at the moment, is a F1 machine, so a 1000cc machine. So too for Spike Taylor and Graham Wilkinson. So battles within battles here in the sidecars, brought to you by the Collegiate Hotel in Whanganui, the place where a lot of the teams stay each and every year here at the cemetery circuit. Pete the Pirate, as he is known, he always wears a bandana under his helmet, and Kendall Dunlop. Last year, Pete was with Louise Blythe. Louise is in this race, and she is swinging with Jeremy Joyce out of Australia. They're currently sitting in 5th or 6th place, I think, at the moment. Race leader out onto Taupo Key once again. The 73 may be getting a little bit closer, but the telephoto lens certainly foreshortening things. There is the 111. That's Pete the Pirate. Then it's Spike Taylor in 4th place. In behind them, it's the 83, Dennis Charlotte and Dan Jenkins. Dan Jenkins, a very accomplished rider on 2 wheels, as well as a pretty good swinger on 3. And in behind them, it would be the J, and that's Jeremy Joyce and Louise Blythe. So this group's starting to tighten up just a little bit as the laps go down. Just 6 laps for the sidecars, remember. Dennis Charlotte over the Bridgestone Bridge and down the front straight once again. Into turn one, this is the Gilmore Homes corner. Down the visitwanganui.com straight and into the Mars Pet Care corner they go. These are the leaders though. Over the railway line they go, up through the Suzuki S's. Heading down towards the Versatile Building straight and then on to Robert Holden. And I don't know, my eyes might be deceiving me, but I think the 73 is just getting a little bit closer. Estelle LeBlanc told us she's absolutely loving her time in New Zealand, of course, experiencing a summer Christmas. Not quite summer back home in France. Look at the way Frank Clay's just working like a gymnast, just trying to keep the balance just absolutely dead right on the rig. Lap traffic coming up here. Is this going to play a part? No, they do the sensible thing and hold their line. And that is the M of Morgan and Dion Marshall. So the leader clears them. Oh, and Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan just struggle a little bit to get around them. And that's given a little bit of breathing space to the L of Estelle LeBlanc and Frank Clays. And you can see it for yourself as they head out of the Suzuki crossing once again. So the order at the moment, L, 73 and 17. And then it would be J and 83 by the look of it. This time as they head down into Robert Holden, the 73, breathing right down the neck of Frank Clays. You see it from the onboard. Looking behind at the New Zealand pairing, Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan. Tracy looking one way, then the other. Can they make the pass stick right around the outside as they head down the hooker curves and up onto the Bridgestone Bridge come the New Zealanders. Past New Zealand champions, this combination with the big LCR machine. And the leaders at the moment in the F2 competition after the bad luck that befell LeBlanc and Clays. So laps to run here in the sidecars. Brought to you by Quality Inn Collegiate Hotel in Whanganui. 73 in the front now. Carl Cox Motorsports sponsored Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan. Tracy doing double duty here as well. She's also swinging with her brother in the classic sidecars. There is LeBlanc and Clays. Bit of a gap back to the third place rig, the 17 of Spike Taylor and Graham Richardson. Leaders go through the Robert Holden turn, down the trade zone straight. Meantime, we're on board here with Dennis Charlotte in the Mega Motorcycle Centre LCR. This is a F1 rig. Just coming up onto the back of Morgan and Dion Marshall. Remember, these guys are a lap down, so they do the sensible thing and just hold their line. It's up to Dennis to try and make the pass as they go through the hooker curves and up towards the Bridgestone Bridge, and they do so safely. So the Ace of Man rig not having the best of times out there. White flag out, so checkered flag will be shown very shortly to our race leaders. And at this stage, it should be the 73, and there they are through the Suzuki crossing. So they're on their last lap. Doesn't take long to do 6 laps here on a sidecar, not when they're lapping around about the 54, 55 second mark. And that's exactly what Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan are doing on the Carl Cox Motorsport F2 machine. Remember, 600 cc's. F2 bikes limited to 600 cc machinery. And that's what they run at the Isle of Man. 73, Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan looking to put another win in the book here at Whanganui, the infamous cemetery circuit. There is the current rig in second spot, and that is the L of Estelle LeBlanc and Frank Clays, and they're going to have to be content with second. Cross the line in third place. Looks like it'll be the 111 of the Pirate and Kendall Dunlop, and in fourth place it was Dennis Charlotte and Dan Jenkins. Fifth place goes to Jeremy Joyce and Louise Blythe, the Australian-New Zealand combination in fifth.
There is a lot of people here at this race come to watch, so that's very, very nice to see the children and all that on the track. That's good.
It's Barry, the goal was the F2 championship in the Suzuki Series, and you've done that?
Yep, I'm really pleased to do that, especially on the little F2, as, especially here. It was the first time we've won as a team here, so really chuffed to win both races today. It was good.
QS Boat Builders, Formula Sports and Bears cater for older F1 machinery, predominantly Japanese, and Bears, British, European, American racing series. And in race 1, it was Dan McKenzie in the early lead. Second place was held by series points leader Ashley Payne, but it was all short-lived because of this. First, a localised yellow was shown, and then when the fire started, the red flag, and the race was stopped. So this is the rerun of the Formula Sport Bears, brought to you by Q West Boat Builders, big supporters of the Whanganui Boxing Day racing, and have a look for the 72 there. And that is Ash Payne. Oh, and he's overshot. He's missed the first turn, and that one, we've got a couple down as well. Well, it's all gone horribly wrong for Ashley Payne, and there is him just rejoining, and I'd say he's rejoined absolutely in last place. So he's got a bit of work to do, because this is a big field. The Formula Sport and Bears, as I said, predominantly British, European, American machinery, and the older F1 machinery there as well. And riding one of those older bikes, number 96, this is Sam Willisey on the GSXR 750 Suzuki. So he is the race leader as they work their way through Trade Zone, down towards the Hooker Curves and onto the Bridgestone Bridge for the first time. 96, Sam Willisey took a well-deserved win in round 2 at Manfield Circuit. Chris Amon as well. You're on board here with Steve Bridge out of Narawahia. There is the 96. This is Sam Willisey, the son of Alan Flea Willisey, the promoter here in the Suzuki International Series. So he'll be happy with his son's performance at the moment. You're on board here with Stephen Bridge from Narawahia on the big Ducati, the F1 Motorcycle Centre-sponsored machine. Battle for second and third, hotting up just a little bit there. Mark Perry in the mix as well. Back on board here with Ash Payne, and he's like a Pac-Man, gathering up the opposition, gobbling up the opposition as he tries to make up for what was a terrible start for him. He got it absolutely completely wrong at the Gilmore Holmes turn 1, overshot, rejoined in last place, and now he is battling back. There is Mark Perry from Sanson on the Aprilia. Right in behind him is Stephen Bridge. Stephen Bridge's been around a long, long time, always a huge supporter of the Ducati machinery. Through there is number 70 as well, and that is Jason Lamb. Just up ahead of him, 74, Steve Bates. And I think you see just in the back of the shot there, just coming into shot now, that is the 72, and that is the points leader, and that is Ash Payne. On board here with Ash Payne. Now it gets a little bit harder because he's starting to encounter bikes that are doing the similar speed that he is. Remember, he's come from the very back of the field, already up inside the top 10, but he's got a little bit of work to do here. And he is absolutely flying as the outside shot shows, through the Suzuki S's, down the Versatile home straight into Whanganui Trade Zone Robert Holden, down the Trade Zone short shoot and into the Trade Zone 90-degree turn, out onto the Hooker Curves, down past the Dog Pound and up onto the Bridgestone Bridge. 74, Bates is the next victim for the 72. You just got a glimpse of him there. I can tell you that Ash Payne also on a Suzuki machine, a GSXR 750. That's the same sort of bike as the race leader, Jason Bardell, on the BMW number 49, leading this little battle group. So it's getting harder and harder for Payne, but he's passing them like they're chained to posts at the moment. He's got his eyes set on one prize, and that is to get to the front of the field. Goes past Bardell, he's already gone past Bates. Next target will be the number 70, and that's Jason Lamb. There he is just ahead of him. The Suzuki mounted Ashley Payne. Whanganui, they'll have plenty of people cheering for him here in this huge crowd, sunning themselves in the 28 degrees plus conditions we've got here. Hot track temperatures, hot off the track as well. It's all happening at Whanganui, the third and final round of the Suzuki International Series. And at the moment, it's all happening for the 72. There is 49. This is Jason Bardell on the BMW. I should also tell you that the Bears are split into senior and junior, and that is on CC capacity of the engines. On board here with Stephen Bridge, he's got up into second place now. Perry goes back into third, and then there's daylight between the rest of them, and it would be Jason Lamb, and right in behind him from last to fourth, and that is Ash Payne. You're on board here with Payne. Through the Suzuki crossing they go, down past the VIP hospitality area, under the Emmets Bridge. So Ash Payne chasing Jason Lamb here. This is for position. Remember, Ash Payne, who we ride with through Robert Holden, started dead last after overshooting turn 1. He's already up into about 5th place at the moment. To get past Payne, he will be in 4th. Ahead of him, Sam Willisey, the race leader, in 2nd place. Stephen Bridge on the Ducati. Willisey on the Suzuki. You're riding with Ash Payne here Payne on another Suzuki 750, gets past Lamb, so he's into the top 4 now. This has been a giant killing performance. There is the race leader across the railway line at the Suzuki crossing. 27 is Graham Billington. He's about to be swallowed up by the fast closing Sam Willisey. You're on board here with Willisey as they head down into Robert Holden once again. Lap riders doing the sensible thing. All the fast guys ask is that they hold their line. They don't try and drift to the outside, they just hold their line. Stephen Bridge tries to go around the outside, then the inside, threading the needle as they work their way towards the Bridgestone Bridge once more. Willisey has cleared away though. There he is on the 96. So at least 2 laps left in it because no sign of the white flag. There is Stephen Bridge, and right back into this is Mark Parry from Sanson on the Aprilia. 2 lap riders just trundling through there as well. The next one on the money, I'm picking, will be Ash Payne. We'll have a look as they head down Taupo Quay once again. This is the Sharpaz long haul straight through the Suzuki crossing they go. 96 Sam Willisey getting all the encouragement from the huge crowd here at the Cemetery Circuit, the infamous Cemetery Circuit. Well, it's lived up to its name today because we've had several red flags. There's been several crashes, none serious, luckily. But certainly putting a bit of a dent in the program. You're on board here with a man in second place, and that is Stephen Bridge. Great to see Stephen back and competitive on the big Ducati. Been a stalwart of the Ducatis for a long, long time now. White flag out, 1 to go. Third place man looking to swallow up another one of the lap runners, and that is Mark Perry. Back on board here was second. Lap riders in front of Stephen Bridge here. I know that Jared Love's been helping Stephen through the Suzuki International Series. Just does the sensible thing and gets out of the throttle, just lets the lap rider find his feet, or in this case his wheels, as they come through. And that was Paul Jenkins on the Suzuki 600, so he's in the junior version of the Formula One and Bears race combination, brought to you by Q West Boats. Here is the race leader. He's heading towards the checkered flag. This will be a very popular win for young Sam Willisey. Spent last year up in the Northern Hemisphere, came back, helped his dad with the air fences and building the circuit here at Whanganui, and now rewarded with a win in the Formula Sport and Bears combination racing. So Sam Willisey gets the job done. Steve Bridge is second, Mark Perry is third, Ash Payne the ride of the day from dead motherless last to fourth, and then it was Jason Lamb. Plenty of action still to come here at the Cemetery Circuit. It's F1. Damon Rees was the star turn in the F1 class before the heavens opened up at Taupo. But in Manfield's round 2, there was no beating the Englishman, Richard Cooper. Rees, meanwhile, happy with his efforts.
This weekend's been really good, to be honest. I've personally struggled here on a superbike in the last couple of years, so second, I'm still pretty stoked with, we were there right to the very end in every race, so I gave it my very best from lap 1 to the last lap of every race.
Cooper, the 36-year-old British 2019 Superstock champion from Nottingham, was in a class of his own at Circuit Chris Amon.
We came to Manfield with, let's say, more experience of the bike, because obviously it's the first time on the bike, and we as soon as we arrived here, I could see that the track was perhaps a little bit easy to learn. The guys at Olin's and Sloan Frost Suzuki, they've given me a package that any time I've been passed, I've had the answers to return and control the races at my speed, which has been nice.
The circuits of Taupo and Manfield were one thing, the Cemetery Circuit quite another.
I'm looking forward to the race. We've pretty much found the pace that we need to be at straight away. I know what we've got to do today for it to really count, and that's the main objective.
Looking for a better showing, the current New Zealand Superbike champion, Dan Mettam.
Yeah, getting better at Manfield, and results are getting better, and back to fourth on the points now, 1 point behind third, so I've had good results here in the past, so try bring it home in third for the series will be good.
Damon Rees' older brother Mitch was fast as well, top qualifier at Whanganui to set the Carl Cox Rees CBR on pole.
We've made a few changes, made the bike a lot better, obviously. Qualified on pole, fastest I've ever been around here and not far off the lap record. So yeah, pretty stoked for the second session of the day.
So on pole position, it will be the elder of the Rees brothers, Mitch. Alongside of him will be Richard Cooper, the man that leads the series by one single solitary point from the 92 of Damon Rees. We are set for something special here in this reduced Superbike field, or F1 field. The reason it's reduced, no Yamahas in the field. We'll tell you about that. It is Cooper into the front in the Sloan Cox Motorsport GSXR 1000. You ride with him here. 62 Mitch Rees on the Carl Cox Tony Rees Motorcycles Honda in second place. Big wheelie from the two-time Suzuki Series champion. That is Scotty Moyer from Taupo on the number 2. And in behind him, by the look of it, it was the 92, and that is Damo Rees. You're on board here with Mitch Rees, trying to chase down Richard Cooper. He was unbeatable at Manfield's round 2. He qualified quickest. He won all 3 races over the weekend. He erased a 9-point deficit from the 92 of Damo Rees to come here 1 point ahead. He didn't get the 1 point for qualifying. That went to the bike in second place. That's the 62 of Mitch Rees. And he is getting closer as they work their way down the TSS Red Baron front straight. You're on board here with Richard Cooper looking at the back of the machine. 62 is Mitch Rees. Right in beside him is a man he's battled long and hard with, and that is Scotty Moyer. Scotty Moyer's going for the 3-peat. He's a 2-time back-to-back champion in the Suzuki International Series. At the moment, he is sitting in 3rd place. He had a terrible round 1. He picked up a bug from his young son and was very much below par, but he came good again at Manfield, so he is in with a shot at the podium. 62 Rees gets a little bit closer to Cooper as they work their way through Robert Holden down the trade zone straight and into that 90-degree turn toward the hooker curves they go now. You've got to take your hat off to Richard Cooper. Yes, he's the 2019 British Superstock champion from the BSB, the British Superbike Championships, but he's learned these circuits so quickly. He qualified second, having never seen Whanganui before. In the past, you know, international riders have sometimes driven a rental car around the circuit. Nothing like that for Richard. He had a bit of a walk, and then he got on his bike this morning and qualified, as I said, in second place. The man in second place was the fastest qualifier, and that was Mitch Rees. Then we go back to Scotty Moyer, and then it's the 92, and that is Damon Rees. Damon Rees sitting second in the points behind the Englishman. 2 points out of the lead in the F1 bikes. Formula One brought to you by Reacher Premium European Motorcycle Apparel, and the New Zealand agent, of course, White's Power Sport. Cooper, you're on board here with his team manager, if you like. This is Sloane Frost, 2 times the New Zealand Superbike champion. Oh, and he's got it wrong. You heard the over rev. He lost traction in the rear wheel on the big 1000 Suzuki, and the bike spins like a top. And I think that's come to rest in the middle of the circuit. Are we going to see a red flag here? There is the bike. That is most definitely a dangerous position. The officials quickly on the job. The shortened Superbike field, remember, no Yamaha riders in the F1 bikes here at Whanganui, has given the officials a chance to get that bike off the circuit. Well done to the officials here at the Cemetery Circuit. There's so many of them. They're volunteers. They give their time up readily, week in and week out for the Suzuki International Series, and great that the big crowd is applauding them. So disaster averted. We go back to the front of the field. Richard Cooper out of Nottinghamshire, 62, Whakatani's Mitch Rees. Then we go back to the 92, and that is Damon Rees. So the Rees brothers getting together. In 4th place now, it is Scott Moyer. Scott Moyer looking for a 3-peat. We're back on board here with Sloane Frost. This is a repeat of what happened before. You heard the bike break traction. You heard the big over rev. Luckily, Sloane is okay. He's walked back to the start line, so he's okay. The bike probably looking a little bit second-hand. Here it is from Jaden Carrick's machine. Oh, and that was nasty, just about a high side for Sloane Frost. Well, he's had bad luck here before. He's a past Suzuki Series champion. There is Dan Metham just getting up the inside of Jaden Carrick for position. We go back to the front of the field. Richard Cooper in the lead. There's a pretty intricate regime of stretching between racing. Super fit, nothing of young Mr. Cooper, but man, he can ride a motorcycle. 62, Mitch Rees in second place. Damon, his brother, in third. Then we go back to the 2 of Scott Moyer. These 4 have cleared away now. Now, the reason that Yamaha aren't here, the Blue Crew said that they didn't want their machines in risk of damaging them at Whanganui. Yes, Rogan Chandler is riding the 600 machine for Blue Crew Yamaha, but he is in fact riding his practice bike. But the likes of the Hugerbosen brothers and Jake Lewis not riding here today. Jake, of course, supporting Avalon Biddle, his fiancée, but not riding. That's why there's no Yamahas in the F1 class. This race winds on, and it's winding on at a fierce pace. The lap record is a 48.709, and they're in the 48s, and they have been for quite some time, the front runners, both Mitch Rees and Richard Cooper. So are we going to see the lap record go here? There is the 92 of Damon Rees. Damon has his future set. He's off to the Northern Hemisphere with Shane Richardson to compete in the Superstock Championships in Great Britain in our off-season. Shane Richardson, another rider that's here but not riding, would have filled out the field in the F1 class. Out onto the Taupo Key, and this is the Sharpaz long haul straight. Cooper hasn't got it all his own way, because I think Mitch Rees is starting to shut him down here. Pretty sure that's what's happening. He got a whole lot closer that time round as they come down Versatile Building Straight and into Robert Holden. You're back on board here with Mitch Rees. That's Richard Cooper in front of him. Well, we saw this at Manfield. We saw it at Taupo as well, but it was Damon Rees stalking Richard Cooper and in the end passing him. Not so much at Manfield, but certainly at Taupo. This time it's older brother doing the job. You look right into the face of Mitch Rees as he dives to the inside, heading down into the turn one. Can't get it done there. Cooper shuts the door fairly violently. So it's on for young and old through turn two, the Mars Pet Care corner now, and out onto Taupo Key. They come once again. You're riding, looking out the back of Richard Cooper's Suzuki, the Sloan Frost Racing, Suzuki New Zealand BAS expansion joint sponsored GSXR 1000. Mitch Rees gets a little bit closer to Carl Cox, Tony Rees Motorcycles number 62. Damo behind him in third. Scott Moyer has closed up the gap with Damon Rees. So two races in one going on here. You're back on board here with Cooper. Coming down through the Hooker curves, a bit of a wheelie and heading up towards the Bridgestone Bridge they go once again. 280 odd horsepower at the rear wheel for these 1000cc F1 machines or New Zealand superbikes. On board here with Mitch Rees. Can he get a little bit closer as they go down to visitwanganui.com short shoot and out onto Taupo Key once again? Cooper in command as he was at Manfield. Rees hasn't given this one up though. He closes it right up as they head down towards the Suzuki crossing. There's absolutely nothing in this. Oh, and I think Cooper got off the gas a little bit. Mitch Rees didn't. He passes him round the outside. We've got a new race leader in the Formula One Superbikes, and it is Mitchell Rees from Whakatane. What a place to pass. Now can Cooper do anything about it? We're on the final lap. They're going to the checkered flag this time, folks, and Mitch Rees is in the front. Well, he was the fastest qualifier, and I can tell you he's the fastest guy on the racetrack at the moment. He's just done a 48.716 time as the white flag comes out for the 62. On board here with Damon Rees. He's currently back in third place. The front two just starting to get away from him on their last lap now. Can Cooper do anything about it? That's him chasing now. He's led most of this race, but now he is the hunter, not the hunted. The hunted is now the 62 of Mitchell Rees, and he's riding the wheels off the Tony Rees motorcycles, Carl Cox Motorsports CBR 1000. Both the Rees boys having experience in the off-season in Australia, although Mitch has been healing from a particularly badly broken ankle. But he's back to his very best here. Cooper tries a slightly different line as they head over the Bridgestone Bridge. Checkered flag will be out this time, and it's Whakatane's favourite son, Mitch Rees, gets the win in the first of the Formula One races. In second place, it's Richard Cooper. In third place, it'll be the 92, and that is Damon Rees. And in fourth place, it's the two-time Suzuki Series champion, and that is Scott Moyer. Here is the replay of the pass. Watch the 62. I don't know if Cooper got a little bit flummoxed, maybe got off the gas just fractionally, but it was the opening that Mitch Rees was looking for, and by the time they got to the Emmets Pedestrian Bridge, we had a new race leader in the F1 Superbikes. There it is from a different angle, on board with Mitch Rees. He won't forget that pass in a hurry. So Mitchell Rees draws first blood in the F1 Superbikes, presented by White's Power Sports. Second place is the Englishman Richard Cooper, then it was Damon Rees, Scott Moyer and Dan Needham. Well, number 62, Mitch Reeves, is the man of the moment. He's drawn first blood here in the F1 Superbikes, brought to you by White's Power Sports. Richard Cooper was unbeatable at Mansfield. It hasn't turned out that way at Whanganui.
Yeah, it was pretty good. You know, it's one thing practicing and qualifying, but another thing being out there with the guys in a battle. And you know, I led for a few laps at the beginning there, and Mitch came past and looked really comfortable. And I actually picked up a few bits once he'd passed me, because I'm still learning every lap. And we've made a few changes to the bike that hopefully should see us right for race 2, and if we go one better, it'll be ideal.
Yeah, just I don't know what it was. I was just like, oh, I'll just give it a bit of gas here, see if I, you know, get beside him or whatever. And oh, wham! I managed to get up next to him, and you know, obviously took the pass, and away we were.
So more of the same for this next one?
No, I want to get the whole shot and just clear out. That'd be better. Yeah, for sure. Plans to win again and see what we can do. So, yeah, give it a crack.
Well, the big question is, can Mitch Reeves win again? You'll have to come back next week to find out here on CRC Motorsport. The F2s, the Supermotos, the Formula 3s and the Robert Holden Memorial. You won't want to miss that.